Hey all. So on today's episode, we're talking about things that are getting worse on cruises right now. So um, if you're in pretty much any cruising Facebook group these days, let's put it this way: I've noticed a lot of unhappiness about how cruising has changed pre-COVID to post-COVID, or I don't know if I say post-COVID or but from pre-COVID to now.
After the pandemic.
There you go. I don't know this. Well, whatever.
Well, COVID's never going to go away. So there's that.
And I'm going to say right up front, my wife and I still love to cruise. We have cruised before and now. And yeah, I've noticed some differences. I can't say that I haven't. But the level of whining on the Facebook groups is
crazy.
Oh my goodness. 6 months ago, I was part of 27 different Facebook groups that are all about cruising. I'm down to like 5 at this point because, you get tired of this. Well, so anyway, here's a list of the most common
noticeable changes,
dissatisfactions that cruisers have been talking about since since the restart. And like I said, it's true. Things have changed. Yes.
Well, the world has changed.
Agreed.
So, you just have to learn to roll with the punches.
You would think that, but unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there who.
Well, moving on, we're going to tell you.
So, if you love to cruise, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this list. If you agree that it's changed, if you're okay with the changes, or if, honestly, if you've stopped cruising a particular cruise line because of the changes they've made.
Please, no negative comments, no swears, whatever.
Just be respectful. Anyway,
number one.
This one, I definitely feel like this has changed significantly since the restart.
Okay, so I'll continue. Number one, rude and entitled passengers. So we don't know if you will agree with this, but it is getting worse. I take it for what it is. We've always noticed a lot of passengers who are all about themselves and don't seem to give a crap about others. Yeah. But having said that, a lot of cruises have complained about other passengers. Seeing cruise passengers that are rude to crew and other guests is something that seems to be on the rise. And no one likes to see others acting in an arrogant and entitled way, especially towards the hardworking crew members. Those who love to cruise say they've had enough with the drama and wish everyone would just relax and enjoy their vacation at sea. Now, you could miss something that may have caused that to transpire.
Oh, sure.
However, just be respectful. It's to everyone.
To me, it seems like.
My mother always taught us it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So I'm going to throw that out there. However, if I don't know what the cause of the situation is, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. However, if you come at me, sure enough, I'm going to come right back at you.
I get annoyed when, we're sitting there, in the smoking area, and we're having a cigarette, and a staff member comes by and offers us a drink, and then he goes to the next table and they start yelling at him because it's been 10 minutes since he was around. Come on, give the guy a break. He's probably 8 hours into an 18-hour shift for the 8th day in a row, and he's covering 50 tables in the smoking area by himself. But
common courtesy goes a long way.
Next up, slow service in the dining room. This might be different from one cruise line to another. However, a lot of people I've been talking to have noticed that it seems to take longer in the main dining room than in the past. 20 minutes to get a drink. 15, 20 minutes to get your order taken. And, it's a two hour, 2.5 hour experience instead of an hour and a half. And, unfortunately, this has negatively impacted their cruise experience. A lot of frequent cruisers I talk to do praise the service in the ship's dining rooms, more so in the past than now. But it just, we all know that the servers are overworked. Too many tables, not enough staff members, not enough experienced staff members. The crew shortages seem to be getting better now that we're, as of this recording, say 18 months since restart, 12 to 18 months.
I guess. I kind of lost track of time when the world stopped.
But it's definitely, the dining rooms definitely seem to be an area that a lot of people are having issues with.
Well, it's really no fault of the crew members. Anyway, food and dining. Some of the biggest complaints people have is regarding the food and the dining on cruises. Many cruise travelers notice a decline in food quality and presentation on their recent cruises. And some people,
this kind of ties in with the main dining room.
It all kind of ties in.
Yeah.
Some people also pointed out smaller portions and a simplified menu with fewer choices. And dining has always been a high point of cruise travel, so it's understandable that changes are being noticed. But to be fair, there are some food supply issues that are likely to continue to be challenging for cruise lines. But unfortunately, the complaints of a lot of people we're hearing about is about the supply chain, and in our opinion,
aren't about the
supply chain. My apologies. But in our opinion,
they're more about cruise lines trying to squeeze a little bit more profit. So getting a 6-ounce fillet instead of an 8-ounce fillet, having 4 main entree options that are included in the cost instead of 6. Only being able to get 1 lobster on lobster night instead of 2, 3, or 12.
They don't just make these decisions blindly. There's marketed research, and the amount of food that is wasted on a cruise line is astronomical. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
Next up, the return to full capacity. Definitely, I don't feel that we should blame the cruise lines for this. But that first 6 or 9 months after restart, those of us that were able to cruise really kind of got spoiled. If you didn't have the chance to hop on a cruise during that restart period, it was
amazing,
glorious. We were on
Reflection.
Celebrity Reflection. At 50% capacity, and we never waited for anything. I mean, there was no lines for anything. There was room in the pool. There were pool chairs at 11 o'clock in the morning that hadn't been touched by a person or a towel or a chair hog.
But people were happy because they were able to be.
You're right. The attitudes of the
exuberance of the passengers.
Everybody was happy and smiling and laughing, and now that the cruise lines are able to go back to sailing at full capacity, of course they're going to, because every person they could put on that ship is a couple hundred to a couple $1,000s added to their bottom line. So of course they're going to do that. It's just that this one I definitely agree with. That short period of time of 50 to 75% capacity was.
Well, does it kind of make you want to go on a small ship?
Of course.
Okay, then we do that. Upcharge is an extra cost. It is an annoyance. It's a big annoyance for me. For many cruises, upcharges on so many things, from extra cost menus, items being to the cost of activities. Wow, you're contagious.
No, I haven't done any of that tonight.
Some cruisers are not happy with these charges that have creeped up and in over the few years. Cruising has always had an almost all-inclusive type of vacation. However, too many extras and nickel and diming might be going too far, even for those who love to cruise. just know your limits. You don't have to do everything.
That's not the point of that.
Well,
That
I know,
point.
but still,
the point of that was that cruisers are feeling more nickel and dimed now than pre-pandemic.
I can see that. But again, if you don't want to cruise, then don't.
Now people want to cruise and they want to complain about cruising.
Well, people want to complain about everything anyway. Anywho.
Cruise cutbacks. Along with the extra cost items, cruise cutbacks were a big complaint of many of the people that we've talked to. From certain cruise lines cutting back on housekeeping services to once a day, to reducing the hours of certain dining venues. Cruisers say that overall it's a worsening of their cruise experience. In addition, many people have commented that they were saddened to see some of the things that made their cruise special going away, like not being done anymore. In particular, many frequent cruisers, your fault, were not happy about the little things. Things like chocolates being placed on your pillow at night, or towel animals that brought them a smile. Little things like that were missed by many. And some of the things aren't even cutbacks in that the cruise line said no more. They're cutbacks more like room steward has 8 minutes a day to spend in your stateroom, and he's got a list of 53 things he has to do in that stateroom in that 8 minutes, and towel animals is number 54 on that list. So
they do what they can.
Yeah.
But it's not their fault.
You don't want to blame anybody for anything.
It's the way of the world now. I can't help it.
Yes, you can. You can say it's your fault.
It's your fault.
See? Yeah, that wasn't too hard.
That was very easy.
Okay.
Anyhow. Increased prices.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. Everything has gone up in price, and of course, so have cruise vacations. Is it good for cruises? No, however, it's a reality these days for hotels, restaurants, and almost any retail store. While there are still some great deals and values in cruising, understandably, there are also rising costs. Yeah,
things just cost more.
Like going to a bakery versus a big box store to get a cake.
Well, it's not even that.
The cost
it's
of eggs, milk, bread, whatever.
Yeah, $3, $4 for a loaf of bread versus $1.99, or excuse me.
But they still try to make your cruising experience a positive one. Continue.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm allowed to continue.
Well, it's your fault.
Fewer waiters serving drinks. This one we've kind of talked about, but it bears to be repeated in my opinion, because a lot of people are noticing that there's just not as many staff, they're having, what did we count in the main theater, Wonder of the Seas, a couple of months ago? We were there for something, and we saw four waiters serving the entire main floor of the Royal Theater. Mm-hmm. Now, main floor of the Royal Theater has, I don't know, seats for 500 people.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know the numbers. And granted, I'm sure they have it down to a science. For every 10 people, you need one waiter, or 20, whatever. But it just, you get there 10, 15 minutes ahead of time to get a seat and get yourself a drink before the show starts, and you don't see a waiter until 10 minutes after the show starts. But it's definitely, staff shortages are, in my opinion, definitely a culprit or a cause of a lot of the issues that people are complaining about these days.
Yes.
Next complaint.
Oh, too much complaining. This might be ironic for an article about complaints about cruises, yet it's an issue. Many cruises have those who complain on a cruise. What?
An issue many cruisers have is those who complain on a cruise.
In some ways, this is true. We're lucky to be able to cruise and go on vacation. And we definitely feel that in general, more people are complaining about every little thing instead of just shrugging it off and enjoying an amazing vacation you still get from a cruise. Now, cruising is still pretty amazing, even with some things that have changed and continue to evolve. Cruises have changed over the years and continue to evolve. However, everyone wants to have the best experience and value possible when going on a cruise. They remain a great way to vacation and travel, and in today's environment, cruise lines offer a pretty good experience for your vacation dollars. And that being said, there are some things people don't like, even some legitimate complaints that cruise lines may want to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that we've given you a bunch of bad news about what's happening in cruising currently, some of which is valid, some of which is, people just like to hear themselves complain. Check out this video we did recently about cruising smarter.
Cruise on to our next video. Yes!